Here's a real high-class bout. It's on!
Hello and welcome to another 5-minute review. Today we're taking a look at Cuphead. Don't let this game's charming cartoon veneer fool you. This is a brutally difficult game. In fact, it's the most difficult game I've played. I can respect Studio MDHR for what they've created. They didn't lie about the difficulty before release, and the hand-drawn visuals are beautiful, that's for sure. But the gameplay is simply not fun. At times, I hated this game. Dying over and over again, trying to figure out projectile patterns, only to die realizing it was all up to luck and chance anyways, was infuriating. No other game has managed to make my blood boil like Cuphead. And that's not a good thing. I don't mind a challenge, but the difficulty in this game is on a whole other frustrating level. I did beat it, but through the whole ordeal, I really questioned why I was torturing myself playing this game. It was just way too hard for me to find it enjoyable. It was a nightmare. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and more power to them. I wish you all the best as you routinely stab yourselves with carrots and other blunt objects while you enjoy playing Cuphead. Because that's about how fun this game is. You may think I'm just lashing out because of my own ineptitude and general dumbness to the game's design, but I assure you that's not the case. Before talking about the design and gameplay, I should mention the story, as it revolves around the game's fundamental design elements. The story starts with Cuphead and Mugman as they bet, gamble, and otherwise partake in all things nefarious. Things get wild, the duo are on a winning streak, and Cuphead decides it's a good idea to bet with the owner of the decrepit establishment. The game is craps. The stake is their souls, and the owner is the devil. Long story short, they lost. The story revolves around luck and chance, and so do the design and gameplay. The gameplay in itself is pretty simple. You can jump, dash, duck, and shoot your way through stages, but trying to do all of this with projectiles and other stuff flying through the screen is not easy at all. At the end of stages, you're given a ranking depending on how fast you completed it, how much health you have left, how many parries you completed, and how many ability cards you stored up. Parries, only possible on pink projectiles, are essential for good rankings and completing stages faster, which brings me to Cuphead's biggest negative, the game's randomness. Sometimes you get a lot of parry opportunities, sometimes only one or two, and sometimes not at all. There are some situations where you just can't survive. No dash or parry will save you. You will die, and the game will laugh at you for doing so. In the end, it doesn't matter how much you've memorized projectile patterns or boss behaviors. Cuphead is 80% luck and 20% skill, which is why the game is incredibly frustrating and just not much fun. Ending on a positive note, the game's visuals are superb. The art design is gorgeous with just the right amount of film grain and color bleed that flawlessly replicates the washed-out colors and soft edges of vintage cartoons. Animations are also great. All of the different phases of bosses are imaginative and creative, which is one of Cuphead's strongest features. My favorite aspect of this game, though, has to be the music. The tunes are memorable, and they have an excellent and authentic-sounding big band texture. Throughout the experience, it's clear to see that Cuphead is a labor of love. The developers, artists, and musicians poured a ton of creative energy into this game, making it a memorable, if not a particularly fun game. It's unapologetically difficult, but if you're a fan of dying over 600 times in one playthrough, who am I to stop you? If you enjoyed this review, please feel free to like it, and maybe subscribe for more 5-minute reviews in the future. Thanks, guys!